You are listening to the Minute Mastery Podcast, episode number 1. Today, I will be sharing what a time audit is, how to conduct one, and how it can transform your daily routine, helping you prioritize what matters most and turning small moments into big wins, starting now. So you can begin each day knowing where your day went because you started the day understanding where it should go. I am so excited because I am launching my new baby, the Minute Mastery podcast. It is something that has been on my mind for a very long time, but self-doubt, procrastination, and a strong desire for perfection are my top 3 time wasters that can paralyze anyone and stop you from hitting goals. We will talk about these time wasters in future episodes of this podcast and how you can overcome them like a pro. So, as I was preparing this first episode, I couldn't help but think about one of my favorite movies of all times, The Sound of Music. I recall the scene where Maria was first introduced to the Von Trapp family for the first time. And after a very uncomfortable interaction with the general, she was left with the children for the first time. She introduced herself as their new governess who had never done the business of governing children before. She asked for help from the children, and although the children were very mischievous at the time, that first meeting, in my opinion, set the pace for their future relationship. I know you are not mischievous like the Von Trapp children. And even if you were, that would be fun. Like Maria, though, this podcast takes me out of my comfort zone. I have never done this before, but I'm passionate about time management solutions for writers and entrepreneurs. And I believe we are going to have a great time here figuring out how to manage time. We can manage time efficiently. We begin each day with 24 hours. It is our gift, and we can't add a minute extra to our 24 hours. As you will always hear in this podcast, one of the most important resources you would ever have is time. It is often overlooked, but it's more important than even money. Yes, you heard me right. More important than money. You need time to come up with an idea that will earn you money, and you also need time to implement the strategies that will take you to your destination. And if you succeed in achieving your goals, you also need time to take care of any resource you have, and it calls for sacrifice, for hard work, and for patience. So using time efficiently means having a clear plan, starting from point A, moving yourself steadily to point B, your goals and your destination. The journey of 1,000 steps, they say, begins with 1 step. You need to take or collect several steps to get you to any destination that you are heading. The smallest unit for measuring time is the second. 60 of those gives you 1 minute and 60 gives you 1 hour. You already know that. When I was considering a name for this podcast, I chose the minute over the second because a minute feels practical, whereas a second feels too brief to be useful. And so counting seconds may overwhelm and just look ridiculous. We want to save time, but we want to be smart and reasonable with it so we don't get discouraged and give up along the way. That is not an option. This podcast is all about the strategy that can help you save time without the overwhelm. But it also strikes a balance between what is right and what is meaningful. To get us started, we want to look inwards to do some self-encouragement and plan effective methods for saving time and having extra to spare. This episode and the next 2 episodes are linked, so remember to watch or listen to the other 2 episodes in order to get started in your journey to effective time management. There are 3 things that can help you to move the needle from right off the bat when it comes to time management. And they are, number 1, you need a time audit. Number 2, you need clarity. And number 3, you need to learn to delegate and outsource. In this episode, we will look at the first one, time audit. Where does your time currently go? Can we make a visual representation of your current schedule? What will it look like? I don't know about you, but I am a very visual person. And I know most people love some kind of media, a picture, a video, or even a text with few words but big impacts. When I can see things before me, it gives me the kick to take action. Let me give you an example of how powerful having a visual representation is important. I enjoy watching food shows. When I lived in England, one of my favorites was called Super Size and Super Skinny. It was a show where two people, one skinny and one super size, came on the show and they swapped food for about a week. In one of the episodes of that program, they demonstrated the importance of visuals when eating. If you keep an eye on what you're eating, you are not likely going to eat too much. If I have a bag of chips or popcorn, for instance, and I'm sitting on my couch, relaxed, watching a movie, I may go through several bags of chips without knowing. Why? Well, like they explained in that episode, when we do not focus on our food, distracted by things like TV or a cell phone, the brain is not checking in with us that we've had enough. The eyes are not involved. No focus. Hence, we may keep eating and think we haven't had so much. So, they demonstrated this by bringing in a bunch of people to the show and dividing them into two groups, two tables. On table A, they placed all the food the guests needed for the night, and they could eat as much as they wanted. Table B, on the other hand, they brought in the food in batches. Same amount of food as the first table, but they did it in a way that the guests did not engage with what they were eating. The table where the guests could not make sense of how much food they had eaten ate more. How did they do this? They were eating and they couldn't make sense of it because the organizers of the show organized it in a way that they brought the food one at a time. They cleared the table, brought in the next set of food. They did not see how much food was taken in and taken out. So they kept eating and ate more. They were shocked at the end of the night. What does that tell us? If we visually engage with what we are doing, we make better decisions. What are the benefits of creating a visual of how you currently spend your time? It could be a chart, a picture, a video, something our eyes can connect with. Number one benefit, you will see things as they progress. Number two, it will improve your efficiency. Number three, it will improve your productivity. Number four, you will focus on important tasks. Number five, you will reduce the waste of time. Number six, you have control, tweaking things to suit changing circumstances. Because let's face it, life is never stagnant. Things keep moving. You may have something on your schedule now, but things do happen and you have to change your movement, reroute for a moment. Knowing what you are doing is important in getting it done. Now we know the benefits of creating some visuals for your current schedule. So let's engage with the activities you currently do and use the data that we collect to make a visual representation to help move things around. It could be either a pie chart or a bar chart. It is a picture that will help you make intentional decisions. Why do this? You see, the use of time is very similar to the use of money. When I was growing up, a common saying I heard was, if you take care of the pennies, the pound will take care of itself. What does that mean? It means take care of the little money that you have, as these quickly adds up. I've heard people say to me, when they spend $1 or £1 on very trivial stuff, they say it's only $1 or it's only £1. That is not much. Really? Imagine throwing away $1 every day. In 365 days, you have lost $365. Now stop for a moment. What can you do with $365 in whatever country you live? It may buy your groceries for a week or two in some places. In other places, it may be groceries for weeks or months. So you see, it is not just $1 or £1. It is money that you can collect and make it work for you in future. You may already make important decisions when it comes to your finances for your family. You check prices, you know what will make your penny and ultimately your pound go far. This episode is not about budgeting money, but it is about allocating time to give you an extra hour a day to do your own thing. As mentioned earlier, money and time are similar. You have a fixed income unless you're a multi-billionaire like Elon Musk or Bill Gates. And even the rich are excellent when it comes to managing time and money. They know nothing should be wasted. Just as every penny counts with money, every minute counts with time. With money, when we receive our paycheck, we allocate the funds. We know the essentials. They're not so important. And some things we leave for the future, saving up until we can buy. So how can you manage your time? You have a fixed 24 hours and you won't get a minute extra, as we mentioned earlier. This is like your paycheck. We all get this fixed amount of time. How we use it will determine if we can save extra for us to do the important things in our life. So start by knowing what you use your time for. Not knowing where your time goes is like getting your paycheck and allowing spending to go by chance, not allocating funds to where money is needed. That would be a disaster. So check, where does your 24 hours go? Group things, labeling them, like in the case of money, to essential, not so important, and later. You can then use the data you collect to make adjustments in your use of time. To get you started, please try this in the next 2 weeks. Make a note of how you spend your time from the moment you wake up to when you go to sleep at night. Then, after 2 weeks, do a visual of your numbers by calculating the total time you spent on each activity. Open a spreadsheet and enter your figures. Then create either a pie chart or a bar chart. You now have a visual of how you spend your time. Do you need help in creating your own? I can help. Please check the description box. After doing the exercise, what do you think? What adjustments can you make? Which one do you prefer, a pie chart or a bar chart? Please let me know in the comment section. Check this episode's webpage or check the description below if you're watching on YouTube. Remember, this is not meant to judge you. The visuals gives depth and shows us where to improve. We all need improvements daily. If things did not go as planned, please don't worry. Most people do not get time management right the first time. But your charts only highlights where we can find that extra hour for you to do the things that you enjoy doing. First, you need to know what things are important. Don't panic if the results don't look good. Rome was not built in a day, but the builders were laying bricks every day. You will soon master the art of time management, going one brick at a time. When you have your visuals, make a list of tasks that you need to do every day. Then allocate time to your priorities. Create a list of what to do in the future. Write down projects you are currently working on and go one brick at a time. Make a note of time you can get from the activities you do now. How much time can you save? You can now use the information from your data to allocate time the way you allocate money when you get your paycheck. Your chart helps take the stress from your head to paper. A bonus task you can do with your data is to group your tasks into 4. Group 1, important and urgent. Group 2, important but not urgent. Group 3, tasks you can delegate. Group 4, tasks you should forget or delete. We cannot do everything. And once you recognize these last ones and discard unnecessary tasks, you gain the freedom to relax, the freedom to free up time from overwhelm and burnout. And that is true productivity. For you to intentionally allocate time based on your priorities, though, you must have clarity. So join me in episode 2 as we talk about clarity and how you can collect minutes that will add up to your extra hour a day. I can help you get started and be your accountability partner until you become comfortable and you can go on your own. Sign up for my newsletter and grab my tools to getting you started. Please check out this episode's webpage, and I can't wait to work with you as you create time and start doing the things that you love. If you have enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe to this podcast as it will only get better. Share and recommend to your family and friends. I will love the kindness, and I will see you in the next episode.